So here we got a Canadian firm that borrows 50 million Canadian for 3 years at 6-month CAD reference rate plus 65 basis points. So let's circle that. So we have a situation where our Canadian firm has a fixed asset, but he actually needs 40 million in US dollars. So we're going to do some sort of exchange here, or cross-currency basis swap. So a 3-year semi-annual settlement cross-currency basis swap is quoted at -15 bips and at a rate of USD to Canada of 0.8. Now, when I was studying and practicing for the level 3 and even on my exam, I would have the scratch paper and I'd be writing down some little tidbits here. So maybe some of the stuff I circled, I would write real quick. And when a little tip for when you're taking your test, don't dive into that scratch paper and write everything down. You simply won't have the time, but little bits here and there like this, things that jump out at you. Plus, you can highlight the screen. So that's really cool. So when you're looking at the vignette, if you think there's something important you need there, you can also highlight it as you're taking your exam. All right, so we need to explain how to use the swap to convert the debt to US dollars and then describe our cash flows. The Canadian firm must in actuality, in sort of theory rather, lend Canadian dollars under the swap, so receive the basis Canada reference rate minus 15 basis points. So minus 15 is going to equal plus 15. So tuck that away in your mental Rolodex for a moment. So paying the US dollar reference rate. All right, so how are we going to figure this out? Well, the cash flow at time T is pretty much the following. We're going to deliver our Canadian dollars, right? And we're going to receive US, because that's what our manager needed, or our Canadian firm needed in this case. So pretty straightforward. We're just going to exchange. You get this, I get this back at the exchange rate. Be really careful there that you use the proper exchange rate. Cash flow in the future at time T. What are we going to do? We're going to get back our 50 million of notional principal. We're going to pay back. We're going to pay out our notional principal. We're going to repay our loan, right? And the net pay is going to be 40 million. And also we're going to have to send out the final coupon exchange. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers here. And what you might want to do is you might want to draw a picture of where the cash flows are going. That's good practice too, but focus on really the mechanics. What is happening here? So what is our semi-annual cash flow? I think this sets itself up for an excellent multiple choice test question. So the firm will pay our 6-month CAD interest on the $50 million at the reference rate plus 65 bips. And you would say, well, where did that come from again, Jim? Well, remember, our Canadian firm borrowed the money. That was originally what happened, right? And all we're doing was exchanging notional principals. We're not really exchanging a loan per se. So we still are on the hook for paying the interest on the loan, which is right there. That's piece, say, number 1. Now, number 2, on the swap, the firm receives our 6-month interest on the 50 million reference rate minus 15 basis points and pays interest now on the 40 million at the US dollar reference rate. So I'll be saying number 2. The net CAD payment is 50 million. Now, be really careful here, and I'm going to circle these to remember it's a semi-annual payment. Common mistake would be to forget to do that. All right, to do the 180 over 360 times 80 bips. And you're probably staring at this page going, all right, where did 80 come from? 65 basis points, right? And then I'm going to jump back here real quick. Oop, it's gone. Where'd it go? There it is. Plus 15, right? I said minus is going to give us a plus. So we are going to have 80 here. How do you get good at this? It's all about practicing the questions and reviewing the concepts, all right? So our net CAD payment is going to be 200,000, and we're going to receive a US dollar payment, once again, on a 40 million notional principal times semi-annual, and that's going to be at the US reference rate, and we didn't provide that. So it's all about learning the mechanics, how this is working. Drawing diagrams is a really good way of understanding what's happening.